chain to a Mystical Space Typhoon or chain to the Final Bringer of End Times, that can be very, very tough.
The good thing for Rio is, of course, that his engine does not really have a lot of equipped field continuous or quick play spells.
Absolutely.
It's rather just the non-engine. So that is a trade-off I think he would be even fine to take if you have a Mystical Space Typhoon and, for example, a Final Bringer of End Times, because they are quick play spells. You use the first one, then Magic Deflector gets chained, and then you still get rid of the other one. You can still use that, and then you're going to still, after all, get rid of 2 of the trap cards.
Yeah, but if we have both of them, I think there is some argument to be made that the Mystical Space Typhoon may be used first, already without having a monster on the field. So, you know, and when you don't have a monster on the field, then all of a sudden the Final Bringer of End Times cannot be activated anymore. So maybe Rio has to already in his head consider the factor that there could be Magic Deflector and therefore already go, for example, for a normal summon of the Jehuti, as we have seen plenty of times by him.
Charalampos is now siding his cards out, and we are getting ready for that last game.
All right, we're about to be ready, so why don't we go into game 3? Here we are, both players smiling, understandably so, with them already making the huge accomplishment of reaching top 8 here, and that also comes, of course, with some good pricing. They already have secured, even if they lose here, a complete set of Blazing Dominion, excluding the Starlight Rares. On top, also a complete set of Battle of Legends Glorious Gallery, and then another, or Gallery, Gallery, and then 24 booster packs from recent sets as well.
So let's see, are we going to have a set 4? Are we going to play with some engine? What's it going to be? That is a Ariane, and Ariane is a pretty nice start. Okay, we took it back and then we summoned it again. So I think what we just did is clarify that we are actually going to main phase.
No, I think we're still dancing. I think that is still the aftermath of the Darklord dance that was activated in the last game. So it's like you got to do it in like a fancy way.
You're bouncing the cards without having Big Welcome activated. However, Big Welcome would be a pretty nice...
We're not using it.
Wow.
We're not using the Ariane.
We're just sending it with Ariane.
Okay. Oh. What's the upside of that? Yeah, you can send from the field. I'm just wondering what's... I mean, it doesn't matter really, but we are just sending the Big Welcome Labrynth from the field here instead of just sending it from the hand straight away. But Ariane is resolving. We know in Genesis the hand interaction is not very strongly represented, so that will oftentimes resolve. But now Charalampos is thinking himself, what am I even going to bring out with this?
Yeah, and I think it's most of the time just Ariana.
Yeah. Gotta be.
Because, and now bear with me, you can overlay them for a Ring 4 Exceeds.
What could that be?
That would be...
Exciting Night.
Yeah, that was actually my last Labrynth deck, the card that I got out, because then you bridge into the Fiendsmith engine. I do not think that is going to be possible.
Well, will be hard. There also is the...
King Backjack.
Oh, you can do that? That's crazy.
I did not know that was possible.
You can special summon level 4 lower Fiend monster from your deck in defense position. That is absolutely possible.
Oh, and we are
very strong.
Wow, we're using the Big Welcome. We can't bounce anything from our opponent's side.
That's crazy. Triggering the Ariane with that as well to special summon a Fiend monster
from hand.
Or set a spell trap.
And draw a card, but I think that we have the Ariana in hand already, so we just added ourselves a free Absolute King Backjack. That was so sick.
What a crazy loop that was from Charalampos. He took his time to find that move, but actually insanely well executed, because now we can just search for either the Chandrili or the Stovey Torby to then discard that Backjack. What a play from Charalampos here in top 8. He is ready to take it all down, and he's ready to be the first one to finally beat Rio here in this tournament.
I didn't know that Labrynth was a combo deck, because this was really sick. You're setting up these immediate interactions. Also with the Stovey Torby, more resources. You are going straight for the Welcome Labrynth. We have another Big Welcome in hand. Another option would have, of course, been the good old Labrynth. Maybe playing around the Herald of Greenlight.
Maybe. He's the absolute king, Backjack, and he will be able to look at the top 3 cards. Oh, one more. And Charalampos carefully is going to put them back in the same order that they were in. Interesting.
Okay, if someone likes his top decks, that's fine.
Good enough.
Setting more and more cards. Oh, only 2. I think the entire hand was very much red, but you're keeping 1 card in hand. What does that mean?
Maybe it is transaction rollback, and transaction rollback really is not a trap card that you want to set, but rather want to discard when the Stovey comes back. That would be an explanation.
I think versus specifically the Darklord deck, there is a good argument to be made to
they have trap cards.
Because
You're
they
right.
have some nice removal in their trap cards, and sometimes they just get sent to the graveyard so that Evening Star can copy it. But we're starting off with the Searcher for the Darklord deck, the Banishment. Getting an Yugioh.
Darklords and Yugioh. It's always Yugioh, isn't it? Like Yugioh left, Yugioh right, drawing 2 cards has been always the most powerful thing to do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pot of Greed says hello, but in new ways here in the Darklord deck.
I mean, Yugioh is also super old. I think the card is from 2017.
Ooh, let me fact check that, Leo. Let me fact check that.
Because I remembered playing versus the deck when I played Paleozoics at a tournament.
Yeah. So Darklord Yggdrasil was first introduced in 2016, actually.
Oh, even older.
Pretty close, yeah. Pretty close, though. Good call. All right, we do get the Gogolet into the graveyard. And looks like we are aiming for Darklord Dance. Yup, still dancing time.
But what does Charalampos have? Because he has had struggle interrupting his opponent in the first game. Honestly, it looked like Rio was going to push through it. But this time around, I think he has a lot more non-engine. That's really what you're aiming for.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. And what will... Oh, we're preemptively activating the Welcome Labrynth here. That, in my opinion, can only mean that we're trying to get the lovely Labrynth already onto the field.
Yeah.
And we probably also have then the big Welcome Labrynth setup. And the top card that we were ready to keep, and absolutely understandably so, is the Ice Dragon's Prison, which now can be set and most importantly also be used this turn.
Ice Dragon's Prison is so incredibly good versus decks that have the same typing. So you can choose a card from their graveyard, a monster card, special summon it to your side, and then if your opponent has a card of the same type on their field, you can banish both of them. So if your opponent wants to use cards from the graveyard, target cards in the graveyard, or has resources in the graveyard, you can steal those resources, banish them, and also take monsters from the field.
It's insane. It has been one of the craziest Labrynth cards back in the day, and it still is to this day, at least in the Genesis format. Okay, we're going to get that Arias into the hand now as well with the big Welcome Labrynth, and we're taking a step here. Chainlink 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. That's where you know that Labrynth is having a good time. Drawing another card with the Ariane.
Oh, I think we're cutting the deck one more time. It has not... we just resolved that we just cut that deck. That is fine. But very, very cool interaction also by knowing that he can get to an Arias later in the turn, keeping that one trap in hand. So even if it is a transaction rollback or you found something cooler that you might want to activate, Arias is going to be able to allow you to.
Lovely. How many cards in hand? 6, 7. So we are getting the Gogolet out of the hand, which is not necessarily the one we are trying to aim at, because I saw there's, for example, the final Bringer of End Times in his hand, which could be used against that just discussed Ice Dragon's Prison.
Gogolet, not the card that you want to snipe out of, but the final Bringer of End Times. Yeah, you're right. It actually, but it is not targeting, I don't think. So even if you destroy one of your monsters, if you have 2, like with Jehuti, you can still get rid of the other card.
I think they are targeting. Let me double check though. Let's see.
You can banish one monster from both players' fields.
Oh, you mean the Ice Dragon's Prison? Oh, yeah, you're right. But the I was thinking rather of the final Bringer of End Times, because
that does target.
Would be targeting a monster you control or a card your opponent controls. So you can like, yeah, you can still get some value out of the Ice Dragon's Prison. I see what you mean, yeah. As long as we do have 2 monsters on the field. And we do have that now. So there's a little gift now from Rio, because he is summoning that Darklord over to his opponent's side, giving him over that Darklord Nastin.
It is also crazy that he has found a Daruma Karma Cannon in the process of this turn.
Oh.
So Arias is going to have huge impact unless the other card that was set before, that is set in the middle spell and trap zone, is also a Daruma Karma Cannon.
That's true.
We keep just resorting to this Minerva. And I mean, wait. You cannot use Ice Dragon's Prison now since the gift.
Oh, why is that?
Because you
there's
can't
no zones.
summon a monster for your zone.
You're right. That gift looked weird in the first place. But actually, there is no free zones. But there still is the Stovey on the field able to possibly clear one zone. Oh.
You can always use the Stovey as chain link. It reminds me a little bit of Sky Striker Ace Ray when you have your main monsters.
Totally. It's basically the same, just without link monsters.
you tribute it away and then you can play all of your cool cards.
Of course, Stovey for the people wondering, is not only able to use its effect in the hand, but also while on the field. Oh, does Charalampos see that though? Oh yeah, he does, of course.
Pretty sure.
He is in the top 8 of this Genesis Championship. He's one of the 8 finest Genesis players of all of Europe, so obviously he will see that line. But,
Let's say the Daruma Karma Cannon, but that is a lot of monsters.
And we're chaining the Stovey, understandably so, of course.
That does make sense, but I think the Daruma Karma Cannon is not even once per turn, right?
Nope, it's not. Absolutely isn't.
So the other one from hand can be so incredibly strong later on. I think even though Rio has so many cards in hand, the pushes of the deck are somewhat limited. So if you have to play through a Ice Dragon's Prison plus a Daruma Karma Cannon, if Charalampos takes his time with the interruptions, he's going to be able to stop his opponent. I cannot see a way in which you win through this field.
Are we still chaining? Oh yeah. We're also immediately activating the effect of Arias here. And I like that because getting the Arias into the graveyard as quickly as possible, of course, also possibly enables us later on to use the graveyard effect of it to bring it back onto the field. But let's not do that very early because we want to make sure that our Ice Dragon's Prison can resolve before that.
I felt like the Arias was a discard for Stovey. Just happened very late. Because it would have resolved as the first thing, right? Because it would be the last piece on the chain link. So I think we might have another Arias in hand.
Maybe we do. Final bringer of end times now. And this is where the Ice Dragon's Prison is not getting any value at all because there is no other face-up monsters on the field anymore. And therefore, yes, we're getting to special summon. Congratulations, that's an X-Shield for free for Charalampos, but we can't banish anything with it.
That is huge. So Rio, with this final bringer of end time, is getting tremendous value out of this. Even though you can chain almost all of these good trap cards, sometimes that is just not enough. Because right now, this doesn't really do a lot. It just takes away one of the resources from your graveyard.
I'm wondering, didn't Minerva also have like an effect when being destroyed or something? Yeah, if this card is in its owner's possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card effect. So we gave that up our own here, so that won't trigger.
Oh, wait a second. I think Rio also has a Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in hand. That would have been another way to play around the Ice Dragon's Prison.
True, but we didn't care now.
Yep, we go for the Darklord dance.
Let's get that party started.
Oh, we can also fuse the X-Shell.
Of course. We can do that, and we're going to use it together with the Gogolette to go into that Darklord Evening Star again. Yeah, I mean, Darklord Dance clearly says you can also use Darklord monsters your opponent controls as material, which is hilarious that Charalampos actually gave it over then.
Yeah, but it also makes sense because there are some cards that you can just special summon to your opponent's side of the field.
That's how the whole deck works. Now we're copying it again. Do we just now also use the second monster that we gave them?
You are an absolute menace. The first Darklord is being summoned as well. And if you have used the Morningstar, I think you get to blow up the entire field of your opponent. That is looking marvelous for him.
This is crazy. He's not going to go through all of this, is he? You gotta be kidding me. That was like the biggest Labrynth field I've seen in a while.
There's no Arias in the hand anymore. He really just discarded the Arias, thinking that he's going to go through this turn anyway. So that looks like Rio might actually close this game out. Right now he has 7,700 attack points on the field.
Yeah, I think Rio might be the Darklord himself as he goes into the battle phase. That's not quite enough just yet. It actually is Rio going second, 12-0 so far in the tournament. Still stays undefeated and is now into top 4. And the way he did that was impressive. Through that big Labrynth field that Charalampos put up, he did not care. He is loving it, sending kisses to the fans at home, moving on into the semi-finals. And I can see he wants to go to Japan.
Yeah, but we are loving it too. Rio, the OG Darklord, going through Swiss, does not fall for the curse of Anubis and now goes into top 4. Now, of course, if you want to have more Yu-Gi-Oh! Action, there's also the mainstream. The EUWCQ is in its final steps of the tournament, so make sure that you are tuning in to that part of the broadcast too. We're going to be back with top 4 soon.